couldn't be more excited. It's just, there's so much kind of happening in the moment.
It's just really important to meet someone that respects you.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Oh my god.
I'm gonna let the boys be
Hi.
boys.
Chat W, Selena.
We've both grown as individuals and met at the perfect time, and I believe life is like that.
Everybody say bye.
I've always liked
She's dropping Benny off.
I love you.
I just have never really felt so sure about something. And I also don't want to jinx it by saying.
W, Selena.
All right, don't get too close, Jack.
Kind of like
Bye, love you.
Bye.
What if one of Hollywood's most private romances suddenly became the ultimate fairy tale? That's exactly what happened when producer Benny Blanco shocked the world by sharing never-before-seen photos from his wedding to Selena Gomez. In them, Selena wasn't just a bride, she looked like she'd stepped straight out of a storybook, wearing a massive, flowing veil and sparkling new rings that instantly went viral. And Benny's caption sealed the deal: "I married a real-life Disney princess." But this was more than a random post. These were carefully chosen moments, telling a deeper story about who they are as a couple and why this wedding has become one of the most talked about events of the year.
It's really nice to also lean on someone who understands the world that I live in.
Fans immediately began dissecting everything: the design of the veil, the hidden symbolism in the rings, even the timing of the reveal. On the surface, it's a perfect fairy tale ending for Selena, who grew up on camera and knows better than most how harsh the spotlight can be. But behind the glittering photos and fairy tale captions lies a more intriguing story, one about their shared history, their handling of public scrutiny, and what this marriage truly means for their future. Once you start peeling back the layers, it becomes clear this wasn't just a wedding. It was a masterfully crafted moment that sent shockwaves through Hollywood, leaving us all to wonder what was staged, what was real, and how much was ever meant for our eyes. The world's first glimpse came through an Instagram post that seemed simple but exploded online instantly. In a carousel of photos, Benny shared intimate snapshots, Selena draped in a cathedral-length veil so grand it dominated the frame. Then came the close-ups, to gleaming, matching wedding bands, loaded with symbolism. And in between, tender moments so personal, they almost didn't look meant for the public. But what truly sent the internet spiraling wasn't just the imagery, it was Benny's words. His caption, "I married a real-life Disney princess," was more than a romantic line. It was a direct link to Selena's past, her Disney Channel roots, and the image so many fans still hold of her. In one sentence, Benny blended fantasy, nostalgia, and reality. The post spread within minutes, racking up millions of likes and drawing comments from fans, celebrities, and critics alike. For many, it felt like a wedding reveal Hollywood hasn't pulled off in years, both intimately personal and grandly theatrical. But here's the thing: the veil and the rings weren't just accessories. They carried a deeper meaning, and many believe they were chosen to send a deliberate message. And that's where the story takes an even more fascinating turn. Selena's veil wasn't just an accessory, it was a statement. Towering, flowing, and wide enough to cover the aisle behind her, it commanded attention. Some fans pointed out how its sheer scale felt intentional, as if designed to signal that Selena wasn't just stepping into marriage, but into an entirely new era. In celebrity culture, veils often symbolize transformation, but this one went further. It turned her into a vision larger than life, exactly how a Disney princess would be imagined. Then, there were the rings, sleek, polished, and timeless. They told a different story. They weren't dripping in diamonds, but chosen for their elegant simplicity. This hinted at something deeper, a desire to highlight their bond, not just the spectacle. After years of watching Selena navigate breakups and tabloid drama, fans speculated the rings represented something new, stability, something real and lasting. But there's another layer. In the photos, the rings and veil were often shown in mirrors and reflections, given a cinematic glow. Some believe this was more than artistry, that Benny and Selena were subtly telling the world their love story isn't just real, it's meant to be remembered like a legend. And while the fairy tale details enchanted everyone, the words Disney princess struck the deepest chord of all, because for Selena, that label carries a lifetime of history, expectation, and pressure for most brides. Disney princess is a sweet compliment, but for Selena Gomez, those words cut much deeper. Long before she was a global superstar, she was the face of Disney Channel. Millions grew up watching her on Wizards of Waverly Place and in Princess Protection Program, where she literally played a fairy tale role. That Disney image became her foundation, a label she spent her entire adult career trying to evolve beyond. So when Benny captioned his photos, "I married a real-life Disney princess," it wasn't just romantic, it was profoundly symbolic. It tied their wedding directly back to the childhood nostalgia of a generation. Fans who watched Selena grow up on their TVs were now seeing her step into what looked like a fairy tale ending. It felt like a full circle moment no one saw coming. But here's the twist. Being tied to that princess image also carries enormous weight. Selena has spent years proving she's more than the star she once was through her music, her acting, and by speaking openly about her struggles. To some, Benny's words brought warmth and nostalgia. To others, it raised a question. Is Selena finally embracing that label, or was this Benny's way of telling the world that, despite everything,
We just have things we want to finish and our own personal endeavors before we get into all the nitty-gritty.
she's still the one fans see as royalty? Either way, those two words did more than spark headlines. They reignited a conversation about Selena's past, her identity, and the love story that's now rewriting her legacy. And while the caption stole the spotlight, the relationship itself has a history that explains why this wedding felt so much bigger than just vows and rings. Before the veil, the rings, and the headlines, Selena and Benny's story started in the studio. They first crossed paths years ago, collaborating on projects long before anyone suspected a deeper connection. It seemed like a standard producer-artist friendship, but insiders later revealed the chemistry was undeniable, and over time, that quiet professional relationship blossomed into something more. By late 2023, whispers of a romance began to surface. Paparazzi shots and subtle social media hints fueled the rumor mill, but the couple remained intensely private. It wasn't until Selena herself confirmed the relationship online that fans got the truth and the internet erupted. Then came 2024, the engagement that caught everyone off guard. Instead of a flashy announcement, the news slipped out in fragments. A ring spotted in a candid photo, a cryptic comment from Benny. Fans connected the dots, and soon, it was official. What made their journey unique was how music kept pulling them closer. In early 2025, the couple released their joint album, I Said I Love You First, blurring the lines between their personal and professional lives. Every lyric felt like a peek into their relationship. It wasn't just love, it was love turned into art, making their wedding feel like the natural, breathtaking climax to a story they'd been writing all along. But even with all that build-up, no one was prepared for the sheer spectacle of the wedding day itself, the guests, the hidden details, and the behind-the-scenes moments Benny would later share. The guest list alone was a headline. Selena and Benny's ceremony was a Hollywood reunion in disguise. Taylor Swift was there, a longtime friend showing her support. Comedy legends Steve Martin and Martin Short, her co-stars from Only Murders in the Building, added their stamp of approval. Even Paris Hilton made an appearance, highlighting the vast reach of Selena's influence. But the moments fans didn't see initially were even more telling. In one post, Benny shared a photo of himself and Selena curled up in bed, still glowing from a celebration. In another, Selena had swapped her grand ceremony gown for a second, sleeker dressé modern contrast to the fairytale veil. These glimpses showed two sides of the wedding, the glamorous spectacle, and the quiet, raw intimacy that followed. Of course, no modern celebrity wedding is complete without a touch of digital drama. As Selena and Benny celebrated, fans online dragged Justin Bieber into the conversation, comparing Selena's past with her present happiness. The internet lit up with debates and memes, proving that no matter how far she comes, parts of her past are never fully left behind. Still, the overwhelming focus remained on the fairytale. But with so much attention, a pressing question lingered. What does this moment mean for their future, both as a couple and as two powerful forces in entertainment? With the photos public and the world watching, this wedding is more than a milestone, it's a turning point. Together, they've built a love story the world is invested in, but now the spotlight is brighter than ever. For Selena, this feels like a reset. After years of navigating heartbreaks, rumors, and the weight of a past, she's stepping into a chapter defined not by struggle, but by conscious choice, and that choice is Benny. For Benny, it's equally transformative. Long known as the hitmaker behind the scenes, he's now central to a narrative about one of the world's most beloved stars. This wedding isn't a fairy tale ending. For many, it's the launch of a new brand where their relationship fuels not just headlines, but their art and their influence. Yet, the fairy tale label brings immense pressure. Fans will expect perfection. Every lyric, every appearance, every project will be judged through the lens of Hollywood's newest power couple. And in an industry where storybook romances often fade, the question isn't just how long they'll last, it's how they'll navigate the weight of their own legend. Make no mistake, this wasn't just a wedding. It was a masterclass in narrative, turning Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco into more than newlyweds. It turned them into a modern myth, a real-life story that fans will analyze, celebrate, celebrate and debate for years to come, Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco's wedding was more than a ceremony, it was a statement. From the towering veil to the understated rings, from the A-list guests to the iconic Disney princess caption, every detail was designed to captivate and spark conversation. It wasn't just about love. It was about legacy, image, and the power of a story we all want to believe. But beyond the photos and the headlines, one question remains: is this a modern fairy tale built on curated moments? Or is it the real thing, a genuine love story unfolding in the public eye? Only time will tell. For now, we are left to debate, admire, and wonder what's next for this powerhouse couple. And if their story proves anything, it's that in Hollywood, love, legend, and spectacle can collide in a way that keeps us all utterly captivated. So what do you think? Did Selena and Benny pull off the ultimate fairy tale, or is there more to the story than meets the eye? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more deep dives into the stories behind the headlines.